welcome back to another edition of Literary Diss Tracks. Today we have a battle between two Nobel Prize winners, as well as two giants of Latin American literature. Hailing from Colombia, we have Gabriel Garcia Marquez, author of 100 Years of Solitude and Love in the Time of Cholera, versus Peruvian writer Mario Vargas Llosa, author of The Time of the Hero and my favorite, Conversations in the Cathedral. This one is just super messy and the tea is piping hot, ending with Gabriel Garcia Marquez sporting this nasty shiner. But first, a shout out to my source for this episode, which is Silvana Paternoster's Solitude and Company. So Mario Vargas Llosa and Gabriel Garcia Marquez, or as he was known amongst his friends as Gabo, were dear friends who greatly respected each other's work. In fact, Vargas Llosa wrote his doctoral dissertation on the works of Marquez. And while Marquez is more known for his sort of brilliant popularization of magical realism, both writers represent a distinctly Latin American style of postmodern literature that, in my opinion, remains woefully underappreciated. To set the stage, Vargas Llosa was a handsome dude and very much a charmer. According to his friend Guillermo Angulo, quote, "Women die for Mario." This is where details start to get a bit hazy. According to one account, Vargas Llosa meets a woman on a ship from Barcelona to El Callao. In another, it's a Swedish air stewardess on a plane. At any rate, Vargas Llosa runs off with this woman, leaving his wife Patricia in Barcelona. When his wife Patricia learns of this, she seeks the comfort of her friends as she begins dealing with this sort of separation. Amongst them, Gabriel Garcia Marquez and his wife, Mercedes. There's a lot of different accounts of what happens in this period. What we know for certain, however, is that Marquez told Patricia in no uncertain terms to leave Vargas Llosa. Now, depending on whose account you believe, other things may have happened in this period. For instance, there were rumorings that Marquez was doing more than just consoling. Marquez denies any assertions of wrongdoing in this period, telling a friend, quote, "No, look, she's coming on to me, but I'm so fond of Mario even though they're separated." However, it's entirely possible that Marquez was being something of a flirt, at least. According to one account, when Patricia had to go to Santiago, Marquez took her to the airport himself, but they were running late, and he assured her, quote, "If the plane takes off without you, great, we'll have a party." Which, honestly, Patricia may have had reason to at least misinterpret. Because when Vargas Llosa and Patricia do end up getting back together, Patricia warns him from straying anymore, saying, quote, "Don't think I'm not attractive. Friends of yours like Gabo were after me." So shortly thereafter, in 1976, the two writers meet again at a film premiere for the Mexican film Supervivientes de los Andes, or Survivors of the Andes, or as it would simply be called in America, Survive. At the premiere, Marquez approaches his friend Vargas Llosa with arms wide, and Vargas Llosa promptly punches Marquez with a firm right hook. Now, there's a few different accounts of what Vargas Llosa says to Marquez as he punches him. In one, he shouts, quote, "How dare you come and greet me after what you did to Patricia in Barcelona?" Or, quote, "For what you tried to do to my wife." Or perhaps he simply let his fists do the talking and said nothing at all. 2 days after this scuffle, Marquez shows up to the home of his friend Rodrigo Moya with a simple request. Quote, "I want you to take some pictures of my black eye." Likely this had nothing to do with evidence gathering, but it's rather Marquez simply trolling Vargas Llosa, commemorating this spat with a photograph in which he appears very much amused. But this feud doesn't simply involve Marquez and Vargas Llosa, because Mercedes, Marquez's wife, also gets a shot in there. In discussing the possibility that her husband may have been more than friendly with Patricia during the separation, she says, quote, "What you're saying can't be true because my husband likes women, but only very good-looking women." And according to legend, Marquez and Vargas Llosa would never speak again. Messy, messy, messy. So, who are you riding with on this one? Marquez or Vargas Llosa?